And yeah, I like this one. It took a bit of thinking, or whatever. What do you want to call it? So let's do the number 20 then. And I'm assuming we will have a debug here too, so why not, you know? Let it just be. Copying the password. Oh look, the debug. So debug gave us information at once there. Let's remove the bug and see what it would have looked like. And let's actually copy the tab. And let's change the first one to be without the bug. So let's just give it the basic URL. You're logged in as a regular user. We want a screenshot of this, of course, so and we have source again. So not just saying that this is similar to the old one. There's 7. This time let's give it this one too. So we have the debug information here, but it also appear, right? Debug read here too. So it's not identical, the information here in the sessions, license. So is it? Because I believe that the odd look of this is in part, my dark reader. Because I don't want bright light, it's annoying. Anyway, let's assume we didn't see that yet. Don't look at the source. And we have a bit more source to read. Definitely. And no reason really to zoom in here, but it's look prettier in code anyway. So we have code here. So this is PHP.
Particular Dedu says,
Hello, it's possible to increase your mic PLS.
Oh, can't you hear me? Okay. Let's see. So, of course, I can increase the mic a bit. We could try this first. Testing. Yeah, so if I talk a bit louder like this, it's still not going past. Okay, I'll increase it a bit more. So I don't know when I lowered it, but I guess this is okay to have it at maximum. Is it the maximum for the mic now? I hope this is better.
It's perfect.
Okay, great. And thank you for telling me it was too low. It's nice to know. So we got the new code here for the new one, so we're going to read it.
Il eut que the French accent.
Yeah. It's kind of funny with all the accents of the TTS. I guess you said a French voice for your TTS, right? Then you got that one. Nice. And also all of them, they have a space before the word H there. We don't have to care about this stuff in the header, it's nothing to do with the level. So we're going to... The debug works as the previous ones, we already noticed. It just prints debug messages when they do use the debug function. The the print credentials look similar to the other ones, and we also have an admin one here. I couldn't stop myself. I had to start reading. I'm going to check with my kid too. We have the same here with the print credentials. If you're an admin, you get the credentials for the next level. And if you're logged in as a regular user, meaning the session admin is not set to 1, you don't. You get to know that you're not an admin. We don't need this. My open path name. Debug my open path name. We don't need this. My close. Debug my close. Okay, so I'm a bit curious on the output here we got, so let's go look at it. So we had a read, my read. Well, let's go back in and look again at the code. So before I get really deep into this, let's me go check with my kid because it will be harder to abort later. Yeah, so I just got him some water. He didn't want to pop right now. So, my read. Debug set. Okay, so if str sbn sed. So first of all, I didn't put this into a file, right? So I think I want this in a file, because code is nice at the highlighting. Let's remove that one, and we'll continue to type here. So let's make a new file in code, because it will automatically make empty files there. So new file, and let's call this 20.py, and let's bye that bit, and here we have it. Is it just me, or is it odd? Oh, I should. I was just, my brain broke. So of course PHP. I don't know what I was thinking. Too much pi here. So PHP. So why did it go red? Because what? It's a wrong file. This is so annoying. I was like, what? Yeah. Come on. We don't want 18 there, we want to open this one now. What? So let's just delete the whole thing. Let's get this again. Maybe I'm just tired now and missed something obvious. But I think it kind of like remembered that I called it PHP before. Let's just delete the file. What? Recycle bin? What's that? Well, this time I actually like that it chose this. Maybe I can learn to love it. Well, 19 whatever QWERTY dot PHP, right? Just to make sure it's not some kind of odd saved thing. So now it looks okay, right? So it was highlighting it wrong way. So let's save it. And then we rename this. Right, now we rename this 20. Why did I have to go 19 again? It would have been a problem. So now it still has this as comments and stuff. Ah, nice. There. Ah. So debug, print credentials, the same as we're used to. Only I'm getting really annoyed at this, so let's just do so last time I did it manually, now I'm just going to just replace this with nothing. So bye bye. Right, lots of useless stuff out removed. Debug and print credentials as they used to. They have stopped us from knowing this bit here because we don't need it. My open and my close. We don't know what they do yet. My read, my write, my destroy, and my garbage. Session set save handler. And it keeps popping up stuff. So this is a bit interesting. So this is a PHP thing. We're going to learn a lot more. Let's look at the PHP manual again and hope for better information this time. Says yes, we have 7 session storage functions. Open, close, read, write. Destroy. So we don't need this S because it's in the list. Let's compare this to ours. It ends with garbage. So GC is garbage collection. 6 of them. So I guess we can scroll here. Yeah. Session handler, register shutdown true. Yeah, so this is not the way I want to read my manual, right? I don't want stuff to pop up when I move my mouse over them. Not that much. Not that fast. Sets user level session storage functions, which are used for storing and retrieving data associated with the session. This is most useful when the storage method of bundle supplier's PHP session is preferred. It is storing session data in a local database. Function has 2 prototypes. Well, we don't need to read all of it. We get what it's doing. The most important thing is that this sets up this automatic or built-in thingy, right? What we might miss here is that it's actually a session start too. And this is just running this function with this arguments to connect them to our functions up here. But we're not using this one and this one. So destroy and garbage, why not skip those 2, right? Because then it could stop anywhere. No, it needs those. It's just these that are optional, I guess, from the question marks. Okay, so these are just necessary, that's why they exist, right? Okay, then we know why this is not some kind of hint for us, it's just because it needs them. And it kind of hopped straight to doing stuff here after these functions. We haven't read them yet. So if name exists in the request, name. Right, let's read the form first here. Submit, change name, and that will be in C over here too. If we hop to this should be the basic one, right? So it's just your name, change name. So if we do admin here and change name, we don't get anything. And if we do this in the one with a debug, we get You logged in as a regular user. Same as here. The debug is gone. So let's just go back here. That one can be there, it's okay. I just think it's just interesting to see this. Saving a violate PHP session in my sesh. And we saw that it was like said. Let's go back here and let's read the last bit of the main code. If name exists in the session, session name is name. Okay, so let's see. Form action, just double checking. Right, so if we have a name, it sets it here. So on this one, we can see that we have a name here. So we can change the name admin to something else and set change name, and it will be here. So I want to burp this so we can get the feedback better, of course. So let's close these down, right? This one too. Come on. It always wants something there. Let's scroll down to 20. So here we have the post. Let's see, the first here is... so these have the cookie. So let's send this one to a repeater, but let's also send something else. The icon. This is the same kind of thing. No, we're still not sending any data. So I'll just click through them. Here's the first post. No, this is something else. Here's the first post. I should limit the scope. Whatever. It's not that annoying, is it? So now we have the name admin here too. So let's send this one to repeater too. Let's just compare. Yeah, so I've actually learned a lot from this. This is just to debug again, which we already had, but
Aim31D says, "Oh, we doing natas again, not like this."
oh, you don't like natas? But this was fun. It was kind of fun. So look at the last one. Let's see if I still have it up in the browser, by the way. Well, we can see
It's
here.
fun.
You can see here. Yeah. So, oh, I didn't take a screenshot. What? Look, the image is like, oh my god. Why doesn't the screenshot pop up in code? Because it wasn't an Obsidian? So this one was kind of fun there. So the session IDs here, I've just split them apart with spaces. So it was like, oh, this was kind of fun. And then this bit here is admin, right? So we have a PHP script to get it. It was kind of fun here. Yeah. And now should be in code again. Hopping around. Yeah, so this one. To just get the number here. It was fun. So let's hop to this one now. We have the PHP. We're reading the PHP. from the new one, number 20. So you don't like? Do you like natives or not? It was fun anyway. Let's see if this one is fun. I don't
Yeah.
really know what the challenge is yet. So, this is new to me. We just googled this.
It's a mixed challenge.
Session set save handler. Mixed challenge. Well, anyway, this bit is web, and I really need to learn web stuff more. So that's great. So I know a lot more about sessions now than I did before this morning. Yeah, we read this. Do you know, by the way, any way to make it not hop this up as quickly? Where was I? Here? It pops things up just after half a second. I would like it to be like 10 seconds. So I can like show someone something and talk about the code and it not popping up things at once. Especially if I'm trying to like select something and it pops up. Oh, whatever. I'll Google again. There, that. So trying not to have my mouse over anything. Yeah, so just if name exists in the request, is set it to this. And then we noticed also that if you go there when you have set something, it shows it in the form. Or rather, in the result, it's always showing the form for this one, even when you have the other stuff above there. And so we just sent them to repeater, 2 requests. One with was a basic first one, right? Let's send it. So we got the cookie here, and we have the debug here, and it's a get. So we have the my read session file doesn't exist. You're logged in as a regular user. My write. Saving in. So now I can read it more like in a line here. Could have funded this and it up here down here. Yeah, so let's do the other one. And this one has a cookie and a name. This one didn't have a name or anything. Yeah, right, and this is also a post. So if we send this one, we won't have the debug. But we still have the message here. By the way, what if I would just do to like, say, debug equals to whatever, anything, and send this? This won't work, right? No, because it needs to be a get, right? So let's change it. And let's do debug again. And send it again. And then we get all the debug information. We get lots of debug information. Oh, so the debug 1 was actually in there? It's saved in this. Okay, that's funny. Oh, I broke the poor thing. So my reading from, because now it existed. Oh, this is nice. It tells us how this works, right? So it read the debug 1 here too, that I just randomly added. You can add anything, it will save it. So you might want to restart this one. we could just use a different, if we use this one instead. Let's just send this one here and see what happens. So now we only have name admin because we have this in here too. Session file doesn't exist. Names with admin. Logged in a regular user. So now we need to, I guess we need to do the same thing again. But we have to read the code first because there's definitely something new and cool here that has to do with these. I'm curious too why we have files now, right? Oh. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tired there. I'll probably have to go and help my kids sleep soon too. I'll sleep myself sometime. Yeah, 6:43 stream. Okay. Yeah, so this debug just writes debug information if we, have the debug flag there, the get one, and this just prints.
I wonder if we can inject into the session as it looks like an object.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know yet. Let's read the code first. So this is what we have been doing for the last 2 months. We've been just like getting someone else's session that had this set because there's no way to set it, That's what we have been doing for the 18 and 19. So I'm kind of thinking it looks like we need to set this 1-to-1 again some way, and we probably need to. Yeah. So the previous ones we have just the last one, it was a pattern in the cookies here in this one that we needed to find, so we could just go through them and generate one somewhere reasonable, So first I just looked random, but then I saw like a pattern there, Let's check the code. We don't need this, we don't need this. And then we have the my read and the my write. So these I need to read now. Let's just check here if there was anything else. Name is if name session. Okay, so first it sets it to the session, then it empties it. After the print credential, it empties it and okay. Oh right, so okay, I get it. So so our write here, my write and my read, also my open and my close we don't need, and we don't need my destroy and my garbage, but it's the open and close that we use. So we're replacing the normal function of saving the session name here. Oh my god, I want to sneeze. Come on. So here we're reading
Was there a
the
custom
name
decoding
back.
base 64 string?
The last one, it was just hex. So it wasn't base 64. I can show it to you again.
No up.
Yeah, I'm going to read it. Yeah, we'll see what it does. Let's go back then. So don't be too fast because I wanna try it myself. So if I want hints, I will tell you. If I would have asked for it as soon as I thought it was hard to, I wouldn't have learned much, right? So So I've read on this how it works, a tiny bit at least. We added a new line here so we can see the session
I
start
don't know
easier.
this, so just thinking out loud.
Okay, sure. So the session set save handler here. Apparently these three are optional, but these are required. So that's why we have nothing for these, and we only, well, the open and close and destroy, and we only use read and write. So it seems we can just replace the functionality, which is kind of nice. So let's look at it now. I haven't looked at the functions yet. So let's say that save is the first one to look at, right? So my write data contains the serialized version of session. Okay, so it is like the array of session in a serialized format. But our encoding is better. Okay. So then we have said. So my write said data, and then we can look at the debug here information of write. It's over here. So this is the said here. Then we have, and this looks like, look, it's the same as here, the session ID. Okay, so said is this, right? And or S ID, session ID, right? And then we have the data. This is a data name S5 admin. Okay, so now we know what the data looks like. There's type, and I'm guessing it's a string with 5 characters, and then it gives a string, right? So let's look at the code again. Make sure the SID is alnum only. Okay, alphanumeric. So str SPN. Now maybe we can use this actually for once. So we have the string, we have the characters, and finds the length of the initial segment of string that contains only characters from characters. And of course, it's only supposed to be that, and that's why they compare it to the string length of the full thing. So if it's not the same, it's an invalid SID, and it returns just not true or false. It doesn't write anyway, right? It's a funny thing. I didn't know it could just return. Let's see here. Can it pop up stuff? Yeah, but now I want to know what the default value of return is in PHP, right? So, PHP return. Well. So, let's search for default. Default. Nothing. So it's probably there anyway. Oh, it's more of this odd. It's the same person maybe. So wait, need another. Let's just read it. Return to program control to the following module. So of course, if no parameter is applied, the parentheses must be omitted and null will be returned. Will return with parentheses, but no arguments were result to parser. So null is what we get. Why couldn't it say, like, instead of a tiny note, say that this is what it will do? So it will return null. If it said it here, I will think no. So it was when I was somewhere else. It was, well, anyway, we'll debug write this if we get this, that it's more other characters than these. File name. Oh my god, it's annoying. So session save path and the PHP plus my sesh dot said. So they're using this to make a directory for us to save stuff in. And session save path get and or set the current session save path. So it's the default path, and then we create our own file name in there. And the data is set to nothing from being this string that we printed, and saving in file name the new path is written to debug our debug information. Key sort an array by key in ascending order. Okay, so they sort the array. And then for each okay, so let's look at for each. Nothing much here, so we can understand what this does anyway. So an array here is always in PHP is always a key and a value, so we get the key and the value here, and then we write all of the variables in the session array, and we set the data to okay, plus equals to key value and new line. Okay, so let's see what happens with data later. So file put contents. Yeah, so I just put this in the file, just there in clear text. Okay, and then we chmod this file too. Oh, we can chmod a file here? Okay. I didn't know PHP could do that. You can. File put contents. So it's identical to calling fopen, fwrite, and fcall successively to write data to a file. So it's a quick version there. I didn't know about this one either. So we just save stuff to a file, right? So let's now see when it's read. What's done with it then? And also there must be something else. Let's see, when we read it. Yeah, so here is when it's saved, the request name here. So we would overwrite our name, and the name is saved in the file. And currently our name is admin. So, and this one does not use request name, only here, of course. So, let's go. Yeah. So they kind of start similarly, right? So here, let's just check again. Let's do it with a name switch in a bit, or rather we can do it now so you can see what it looks like. So username, very nice name for a name, right? The best name. And then we get my read. Thus, session file does not exist. Name set to username. So it kind of forgot. We had this before that it just remembered it for like 30 seconds. And then it sets this name username. So it didn't read the file. That's kind of what I wanted it to do. So let's change this back to admin again. And send. And let's check. And now it had the file. So now it's read this. Reading from. And it reads this name. Which is our session ID. In our cookie. And then it read name username. And read nothing on the second line. This is an interesting bit. Name set to admin, because that's what we set it to. So it read the old information here. And then it set it to the new name. And then here at the end, it wrote this to the file. Yeah, so I guess we'll have to look at the next one because we don't know all those things yet. So let's do the read now. But I'm thinking the write is it's interesting there. It first says the set, which is our cookie. Sorry. And then checks again that it is correctly using only these numbers. And if it's not, it returns this time an empty string. It was a null before. So it says my read. Yeah, I guess it runs this when we start, do the session start, right? That's when it does this. So file name, session save path, and it creates it with set again, which is the same from the cookie. Yeah, so it doesn't, the sed, how is it generated? Well, I'm sorry. Let's read this, because it might make it here, right? But it already has it here. Yeah, so I need to know more about this. Variable of my read. Oh, sorry. But let's continue reading the rest of the code here. So it creates the file name again, and if the file exists, if the file doesn't exist, then it says that in the debug, and it returns an empty string again. There are no variables to get back from the session. There's no session there to get stuff from. And if it doesn't exit here, it will write what the file name was, and File get contents. Here's another smart function with several. Yeah, so okay, so we will anyway get the file contents. Nice name of a function. And this is in data, and then array session. Okay, and then it I'm just curious where session is here. I get annoyed at it popping up and I don't want to. I want it to be slower. So session is an array, okay? For each explode. Separator string limit. Returns an array of strings, each of which is a substring of string formatted by splitting on the boundaries formed by the string separator. Yeah, so we know that it is separated by \n, right? By the new lines. And it is in data here, which is the, let's see, the file contents, of course, right? Because in the other one where we saved it, we got the data in here. So now we're going to do it the other way around. As a line. So then we read the line. We just print it if we're in debug mode. And parts explode. I'm sorry. PHP is too funny for me here. Or maybe it's too late. But now we have a limit here to 2. We can't take more than 2. So I guess that at the first space it uses it as a separator and then it takes the rest. I don't know exactly how this works. Limit, let's see. The returned array will contain a maximum of limit elements, with the last element to contain the rest of string. Yeah, so you can have spaces in there. If the limit parameter is negative, well, it comes at the last. Okay. Right. Okie dokie. Oh my. So this is a part, and in the part we have 2 parts. We have the first and the second part, of course. And then it's put into session as the first part is the key and the second is the value. And then session encode, which is an something here. Encodes the current session data as a session encoded string. Session encode returns a serialized string of the contents of the current session data stored in the session subglobal. So this is just what to do, you know, I guess. So now I would like to see another example of one of these, just to see how this session encode. Right, so here we have bool string, encodes the current session data. So I guess the data is not anything can't be named that, because it was used, or what? session encode. Then we have the question mark. So let's ChatGPT this line and see if it can answer in without doing 200 lines. So right, so I asked it here to convert this to this in Python. I cheated it because I was like, oh my god, Python functions. I don't want to Google grammar. Let's do a new one here for this. So we're doing it. Please explain. PHP. So I think I added a new line already there. It's using the no coalescing operator to break it down step by step. Session encode is a PHP function that encodes the current session data string. The string represents all the session variables in serialized format. If the session is active and contains data, session encode returns data as a string. And if there is no session data, session encode returns false. So I'm more curious, well, what this... Maybe we should check what it wants returned first, of course. The question mark colon operator is a shorthand for an operator that you only want to check if a value is false. Okay, not false, but falsy. Empty string, and provide the alternative if it is. Okay. So yeah, it just sets it to an empty string if there's nothing in any of these ways. Yeah, so expression equivalent to expression 1, expression 1, expression 2. Yeah. Okay, well, we don't need to know anymore. It's just annoying to read more. So, since we set the session here, I'm thinking, why do we need this? This is what I'm thinking. And let's look at the help here for this. And this is the my read is the third one. It needs read, which is very logical, of course. So let's see, what more can we see about the read? So this doesn't really help. I want to get information about the read. What is it supposed to, what is the function, what's necessary for the function to work? Yeah, here. So read is string, which we kind of knew from the empty there, and the string return. But how does it actually work? The read callback must always return a session encoded serialized string or an empty string if there is no data to read. Yes. Okay. The callback is called initially by PHP when the session starts, or when session start is called. Before this callback is invoked, PHP will invoke the open callback. The value this callback returns must be in exactly the same serialized format as it was originally passed for storage to the right callback. The value returned will be serialized automatically by PHP and used to populate the session superglobal. While the data looks similar to serialized, please note that it's a different format which is specified in the session serialized handler in its setting. Yeah, so let's now look at the next function here, which is the scroll, up, down, up. The session encode. and not this way. This time we're going to copy it and search. Because why is this necessary? And I guess that it will take the session and just encode it, but it's like it's redundant, you know? Encode the current session data as a session encoded string. Returns a serialized string, contents of the current session data stored in session, so blah blah. So we put stuff in session manually, and then we return the string. Why? Why? Is that some kind of backwards compatibility thing? Why? Would it do the same thing we already did? Why would it? Because we use this to send it there. So we're like doing something we don't need to. And what is the format it will use? Let me see the format. So here, this is the format. This is the format we see there, of course. So we see this format here. On the right. And this is what we write. And when we later read this, here, it looks like this. Name, username. So this will put a space in there in the file. This is a file thing. I'm just thinking, let's look at the my write again. My write. So the my write debug information. It's the data here. It's the serialized version of session. This is what we get when we later save it. So this is what we get here, right? So this is saving, and this is then like loading it back from the session. And this puts it to the file, and this gets it from the file. So, what I don't get is why we don't like just do that. Why don't we save that in the file? We're done. Key value. It looks like this. Here, key value. This is at the bottom. And then they add key space value to the file. And this is what we then read from the file. But what's put in the variable? So again, data that we get here. Let's look at the my write too in here. So my write or write here, this string data here must be the serialized version of the session super global. Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, I guess they're just using a built-in function. But isn't this what is supposed? I'm a bit curious what happens after this.
I'm guessing you're overthinking. The debug output gives a hint, I think.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to understand it before I understand what they want to do, you know? So I'm just thinking they're, like, I want to know what PHP does after my read is finished. That's what I want to do. And I'm assuming that they put this into the session again, you know? Which is like, so this sounds redundant. Huh? Okay, let's think you'll solve the problem now. It's okay. I know enough of how it works, I think. Right? So let's look at here at this. So what we need to do is to get the admin to be 1. And how could we do this? We can only do this again by, like, getting someone else's session. Meaning we need to read someone else's file.
If you want to understand the code and the execution chain, then keep going.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but it's the same thing. In this code that we have, we don't set admin to anything really, right? But we need to have admin. Where is the print credentials here? So session needs to contain an admin that has the value of 1. Well, it's not resetting this one. Let's just set it and see what happens, right? The other one reset it. That's what the problem was then. If it's just to set it, that's kind of stupid though. Well, let's try. Right. It saved when I did the debug one, so we should just let's admin equals to 1 and send this. And we're a regular user, and then it didn't write this. Okay. So what I did before was to post it. Let's try and just send it once more and see what happens. Yeah. And if we go back, is it this one or is it this one? It's this one. So if we go back to the post here, I just had debug 1 here. So if we just do admin 1, I was just testing to run it. So and then we change this one to be a get, and let's send it again, and we have an undefined offset 1. This is interesting. Oh, did it skip the debug? Right. So let's add debug, of course, again. We don't get anything if we don't do debug. Oh, sorry. So now we have a lot of information here. It read admin equals 1 space. Okay. And name admin. So it thinks admin equals 1 is the name of it. Here is a string with 0. That doesn't work. But it's funny that it did this, you know. Let's go back again. It's very odd. I'll have to look at the code. So why did we get that funny result? I was just going on what we had before. We need admin to be 1, not admin equals 1 to be nothing. So when it saves, this reads from the file. When it writes to the file, it gets the data here. So how did I manage to get that into the session? It's a bit buggy. It feels like it was a buggy thing. Let's read this. So name, it checks for name here. And then it does again session name, right? And here's also session name. So it only looks, this bit is only request name and session name. So whatever else is in the request, when is it put into the session? So do we have anything about request here? I don't think so. I think we don't have anything. Is this some kind of default background behavior that I don't know anything
Zarsik
about
says,
yet?
I think you were missing an end in your post request.
Was I? Okay. So this is the post. Did you mean the get? So here is the get.
No, I meant the post.
Okay. So all of these are gets. The post was, let's see, we have 2 posts, 3 posts now. This was the first, and then we did this. And this one added debug one, I think.
You're currently assigning admin debug equals 1 to name.
Okay, let's look again. So this, I think this worked, you know, with the debug here. And then I think
You
it's
prob
exactly the
intended to
same
do name
thing.
equals admin and admin equals 1.
Here. Okay, so you need to, but how come this worked then?
Aang31D says, yes.
Yeah, so let's add an and here instead. Okay? If we send this then. This is the post, and then we change it to here, and then we have it up here instead, and we add debug so we can see more, because we don't get much output here. So now when we send it, We have name admin. If we send it again, no, but I think I can trick it with this. Yeah. I think I understand. So we need to sheet it. We actually need the new line here, but we need a space here. So when it reads it back in, it will read this. Let's try. Right. So we send the post. We switch to get. We add debug. And then we send this. And now we have admin 1. So fixed.
Zarsik says, "You got it."
Yes.
Aim31D
So it put it in the file, and when it read it back from the file, the space was the delimiter and the new line. That's why it worked the first time. I was like, why did this work? And only with a post, So now we know. That was cool, and I have to document it in my notes.
Zarsik says, "It's sort of like object injection."
That I've never heard of. But I'm sure. Yes, we're editing, we're like formatting our data we send.
Well done.
And it was like by mistake that I got it, because my first test there with adding debug, So nice. I wonder if I would have understood it otherwise. Yeah, probably, but it would have taken more time. But we could just add something after the one here. That's the trick.
Yeah, you're corrupting the serialized data, and when that gets read back, you inject another admin equals 1 variable.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so let's make notes on it, and then maybe since it's like midnight now, I should probably stop streaming. Get some sleep and get an earlier morning tomorrow, even if it's vacation times. So let's see, we have a 20. And we have
Aim31D says, "It's not even 12 smile."
Yeah, right, it's 6 minutes. I'm sure we'll do the next one in 6 minutes. I'll start looking at it, okay? But these take a bit of time. It is not, especially since I want to really learn all the things, So now I learned a lot of things about how session works. And before, whichever one was the first one with sessions, I was like, okay, we'll just change this session data locally. I didn't know it was saved on the server, That's where I was. So. And it didn't say in the help. So finally I found it at the V3 information about one of the session commands. Reading the code. We see the format. That is red. And written to the session file. Let's go to session file. So I'm thinking, how can I like more logically than like by mistake find this in logically. Well, just reading it carefully, I guess. So, since I was just testing first that this only works with the gets, right? And when can I
Zarsic says,
scroll this?
M out, great stream.
Thank you, and welcome back, and good night. So, let's see, this was the first one. And this is where I tested to add debug here, just like to confirm it didn't work as a debug. And now it's several posts after here, but I think that this would be the get after that. No, it's all like messed up in the ordering, you know. So I want to have the like logic of it. And this was a hint to me too. So yeah, and this was there in between. But how do I explain this in a good way? That's a successful one, and then we have a few more, and I should get the oh my. Maybe I shouldn't even try to find it anymore. How many did I do? This is the last one. Yeah, so we can see all of these. It reads the new one too. I'm going to the start again. Let's do it logically here. So if we were to do this again, right? So first, or should I just do the one we got? Because when I look at this again, I might not remember it all. That's why I'm thinking adding those is kind of nice, you know? So this is the, let's do HTTP. So post is this, I guess, is what we had originally. So I'm thinking caught by burp. Well, proxied by burp. We have to, well, change request type. As usual by now. So, and after we did that, that's like the last one. And I think I might have, you know, I already did it in the browser. But I'm glad I sent this one over. So, but I also tested adding an extra line in the post request. So, I'm thinking the earlier ones, let's look at like anything with 2 inputs. Do I have anything like that? Wherever. Here, do I have like the response for this? Or like the request? No, because I've always done the debug bit, right? So we don't have those. Yeah, let's do this. So, let's open this again in a new tab, which is very funny that we can't duplicate a tab, we can send it to repeater again. And then we change this one to post, then we get this string here. And I didn't think of this, right? I didn't think of this. So let's change it back again. +1 equals. Yeah, it said that, did it? If we undo instead, can we undo? Yeah, so it actually says that up here. Which is a bit funny. Right, so I'm thinking maybe this will be too long and too much copy pasting for it actually. Now I'm assuming, yeah, we're past midnight and my kid will want help sleeping, so, and he's not asked for it yet, so I might to get more data. So let's actually put one of those here so that we have an example of the data, what it looks like. Right, let's take one with a lot of information. This might not be the best one since this is the last, but let's actually copy this one. Yeah. So, copy. Sorry for the messiness here, but there, and there, LSHTTP, and delete. I should do this from this direction instead, right? But we still get the scrolling problem. So, and here we have the I like blind. Here, username and password. It's harder to read when it's all red and green. So I'm going to put more information in there in between. So, there. So before this last one, I want the request final response. Oh well. Let's just explain it instead. We change request type. First, debug out. So I'm going to add that later. Then we do when reading the output of a few requests, the format of the text file was clear. Well, and also from the code. Well, let's do especially from also reading the code, right? So here, let's key 1, value 1, key 2, value 2. When the data is read in from the file, it is split on lines and the first space on the line. The same is done when writing. But not when getting the what do we call them usually? Well, when getting them from the request, there we can have new lines. In the value. So let's scroll back up here. So when we get the name here, this is just doing straight up. So I'm trying to copy this, which should be simple, and scrolling to the right place. So when this later is written to file, well, let's just say this is not done when getting them from the request. But I was copying the wrong thing, or cutting at the wrong place. This is not done when getting them from the request. When this later is written to the file, it is written on 2 lines, making it 2. I'm thinking variables, but it's not really that, right? Well, let's call it session variables then. Getting 2 session variables when read. So, and then we want the 3 files here. So we first have the post, and then we have a get, and that final response. So let's upload it to this one. This is the final one, and this is a very ugly one too. So we'll probably have emptied the memory here, right? Oh my. Yeah. So everything is set from to start. So this is the post. Yeah, I can just delete when I end up in those lines, right? So this is the post. So let's redo it here. So we're posting this. Send. And then we change this to a yeah, and we get this here, which is correct then, right? So it's actually okay. Hold it there and then send. So right, let's actually do it once more. And as it's raw, it looks less pretty there. So first I'm just pasting this in get here. So let's leave it to time out a bit. Right, we prefer the debug, but this is okay too. So we don't want this with debug. Well, that's the whole thing of it, right? We want the debug. And And let's just do it. Change to get and debug. So we see all the nice things. So we see all the details. And I think that is the output that I have. Yeah, my reading from. I'd like the pretty one, really, right? So, should we prettify it a tiny bit? Just break the lines after the BRs here, right? So we can see how it's read. BR. And then there's a tree there. So we have the debug, but we don't have pretty debug print here, so let's fix that too. Debug. 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 So what I'm thinking is to leave it to timeout so it is not logged in, you know? And we can just do this by not using a cookie. But I want to, so we'll just see if it is timed out now. But I think it's clear what it looks like here now, right? And with what I wrote. So I want a test to run only this, but twice. Right? So also we could just test to run this twice from the browser. Let's do that anyway. Well, we're giving this a bit time to time out. So, let's just skip the extra PHP here. So, natas20, correct. And then we have the debug, and this is a GET request, you know. So we never post it at all. We just send it name admin, admin +1. And then we send the same thing again. But let's actually screenshot this thing first. And I'm not sure if this is saved. Come on. I'm starting my image program because I don't want to paste it in my notes. It was actually, it worked. So let's run it again. Session file doesn't exist. So, name admin, and then we run it once again. Yeah, so it's not writing it. So we need to do the post. Anyway, this didn't work. Now we can try it for real. Because we have better control with work. So we get only, and this, if it still works, we will just get the same stuff back. But if it doesn't work the first time, we will still see what it saves now, right? It's just name admin. So we never get this feedback because we're not doing a get with the post. That's what I want. I want that feedback. And I can't get it. So sending it again. So reading, writing. Yeah, so it won't work. So let's hop back then. And let's do the post. So we send the post. And we don't get the debug feedback. Then we send the get. And we get the username and password. And I didn't add the debug here. So, but it doesn't matter. We have already, I think, all the output. Let's just, I think we'll skip this one. Yeah, we don't need that one. So if it would have been working, I wanted it to have the one previous. They thought it wouldn't, but I wanted to test it to be sure. So, final response. Change the get and add debug to see the details, which is not necessary to add the debug. Then we can see when it reads back the data here. That it has 2 lines. So the admin had new line space. So if we could have just added this into the post box with a new line. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from these. It's great. I love it. First debug out. Yeah. I said I'd try to find it. So, debug name admin. Yes, I think with the first debug out, yeah, I might have meant this. Let's see. So, session file doesn't exist. Name set admin. Yeah. Let's take one of these. So I'm pressing Ctrl C several times now since it didn't work, So and we can see how long I was doing this. 21:51. So I actually got. No, it's wrong. The time is wrong, of course. So 20. It's 1 hour off. It's GMT, which is 1 hour off. So it's not my time. This was 22:51. Or is it 2 hours off? It's probably 2 hours off, right? Because it wasn't like several hours since I got the password for the first time. So if we send one now, I have all the data. Let's see what time. Yeah, so it's 22:25 now. So we're 2 hours off. So this was 30 something minutes ago. It was like, how slow was I really? When I saw this one, 21. 33, well. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the next one, and I hope I won't get too like enchanted by it. So let's see. The notes look like this. Now we have the code. We have reading the code to see that the format is read and written to the session file. Post proxy verb. We change the request type to get the bug data. The first to big out. We're reading output of a few requests from the text files, clear especially from reading the code. There's a extra line there too. When the data is read from the file, it's split on lines, and the first space on and then on the first space on the line. It's not done when getting them from the request. There can be lines in the value. This is whether written to the files is written to lines, making two session variables when read back next time. There. So the first post, change to get an debug to get the details there, to get all how it's reading the lines. Well, and also saving them again. And there it's sorted it on names. So we can see that this was the first time it was written. Here we can also see how the how the variables were sorted onto names. So the read in here was really the first to read time from the file. So now let's get to the page and get a screenshot at least today. Well, today, my God, it's already midnight, meaning I should really be sleeping now. So this was great. I learned a lot of the number 20. So this is what 21 looks like. I did that before. It's so annoying when I'm looking at the... So I press enter here and then it sends it, you know. You should use to just have it. natas21 experimenter. Okay, now this website is co-located at. So let's open the co-located website. Let's do natas21 and paste again. Okay. Interesting. And there we have a view source code, and here we have users. So, this is so cool. I want to continue playing it once, but I'm not allowing myself to. I have to sleep. Oh, I want to. I want to play. So, let's just make the screenshots that I said I would. I'll get to play tomorrow. So I failed copying the path. So now I click Ctrl like 3 times and it worked. So let's go to this one. We got the new one. So click. And let's give it a screenshot. Oh, I saw it. We can copy the code today too, right? I promise not to read it. Just make it. Put it here. Just put it here. So I'm assuming the same source file. No, it is probably the same code, but it is different links. So it's actually different. Nice. So let's copy this one. Alright. That first space. And that's the source for this one. And then we have the source for the other. How am I supposed to wait until tomorrow? I'm not supposed to read this, so close it. Well, I guess I won't close it because let's stream tomorrow too, of course, right? Let's check stream up here. Let's see, we have